Hey everyone, this is Kritika Narayanan and welcome to my podcast. The Blue Picture movement is taking social media by storm, and with the hashtag Blue for Sudan, social media users are turning their display pictures blue in Instagram and Twitter to show their solidarity with peaceful pro-democracy protesters who were killed in Sudan. Dozens of protesters were reportedly killed when the military forcefully tried to disperse them outside the military headquarters in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, where they were staging a protest to bring about civilian rule in the country. The Blue Picture movement also honors the memory of one of the victims of the military attack, Mohammed Mattar, whose favorite color was blue. He reportedly died trying to protect two women from the military men. The unrest in Sudan can be traced back to December 2018 when President Bashir's government imposed emergency austerity measures in an attempt to prevent an economic collapse in the country. Cuts to bread and fuel subsidies sparked protests, and the economic problems brought Sudanese people from all walks of life to the streets. Months of mass protests reached a climax on 6th of April when protesters occupied the square in front of the military's headquarters to demand that the army force the president out. Sudan's long-time authoritarian ruler Omar al-Bashir was finally removed in a military coup on April 11 with charges of corruption after nearly 30 years in power. Sudan's pro-democracy protesters continued their agitation, demanding that the military which took over from al-Bashir hand over power to a civilian rule. The military and protesters agreed on 15th of May to a 3-year transition period to civilian rule because the protesters argued that the long transition is required to dismantle al-Bashir's 30-year-old corrupted political network and pave way for fair elections. But on June the 3rd, talks between protest leaders and the military collapsed, and the military announced that the elections would be held in 9 months. After the announcement, armed men forcefully tried to disperse the protesters, in which reportedly more than 100 peaceful protesters were killed. The intention of the military here was to intimidate civilians into giving up hope of a say in who rules their country. After the attack, the protesters have called for a civil disobedience movement across the nation. There has also been an internet shutdown in Sudan, leaving the protesters cut out from the outside world. But the hashtag Blue for Sudan is gaining momentum on social media and is bringing the attention of the international community to the crisis in Sudan. International leaders have condemned the attacks on peaceful protesters, and social media users across the world are changing their display pictures blue to spread awareness about the crisis in Sudan and also express solidarity with the protesters. I am changing my display picture blue. Are you? This is Kritika Narayanan signing off.